So Jodie, it's all go for you at the minute. Yeah, exactly. It's probably the first time you've seen it properly. Yeah. So trust me, tonight on BBC One, 9 p.m. Now it's a four-part psychological thriller.
Yeah,
really,
which is interesting because I would have associated a medical drama not with being a psychological drama. So that's when I first started to read it. The opening few scenes, I thought it was going to be one piece, and it completely changed direction. She is struggling then with life to kind of keep her head above water, and she's presented, without giving anything away, an opportunity to take the identity of a friend who is actually a doctor and works in A&E. So she has to immerse herself in that world. So it's not going from complete zero knowledge of the medical profession, but it certainly takes it completely in a different direction.
Yeah, and it's a survival thing really as well, isn't it?
And it's a really morally dubious storyline to do that, and which is really fascinating, but to not play an out-and-out baddie or a goodie, which is just of no interest. You know, you want to find the balances of, OK, that's a decision I hope I would never make, but why are you doing it? And
I love the fact that one of your good friends is a sister in A&E, isn't she? And so she was kind of the go-to person to call. She became a bit of a personal medical coach.
There's people on set and stuff, but it'd be like at 11 o'clock at night, and I was like, hopefully she's doing a night shift, and I'd just be, you need to say it, because also we've got the same accent, because me and Alex, you know, I've known her since we were little, so we have the same accent, so she could say it in the same way as me, because there'd be a lot of advice, but I'd be like, you've got a completely different accent. I wouldn't say it like that. I need you to say and I'm not even going to attempt. As soon as I got through a take and I nailed the medical jargon, I was like, yeah. And they're like, oh, well, you're completely dried on the other side. I was like, I'm not bothered. I got that bit. I nailed
got that bit right.
Yeah, I nailed
it. Was with a study.
Cut around me. Just cut around me.
But it's great, as I say, it's on tonight, BBC One, 9 p.m. I have to then, of course, have to talk about Doctor Who and the first female Doctor Who. I mean, Jodie, that's fantastic.
Yeah, it's really exciting.
Massively exciting for you and for all Doctor Who fans, in fact.
Yeah, and hopefully it might, and to people, you know, that it's got a huge audience, and to be a part of that is I've said like so many times, is really emotional. And, and overwhelming, completely overwhelming.
You did cry, didn't you? Talk about emotion. When you first heard you got the part, it was like...
I was, you know, when I was told, there was no like, yeah, thanks. Are you kidding? OK, thanks. Really, really smooth. I was like, but you should be, you know, you can't get a job like this and not be knocked sideways by it. You should be. You don't.
When people heard though that Peter Capaldi was leaving, of course, then the discussion was like, well, who's going to be the next Doctor? And this went on for such a while. So when you did find out, this must have been a complete like. Secrecy was the key here. You couldn't tell anyone. How do you try and keep that secret?
Well, one of the things is knowing that there was I didn't know details, but I knew there was going to be an attempt at a really brilliant reveal. And I did not, and I have got super bad paranoia, so I did not want to be there. I was like, did I tell you that? Sorry, was I supposed to tell you that? You know, that awful thing where you're like, was I supposed to say that? And I've obviously had 5 years of Broadchurch to know, OK, I'm not quite sure if I did tell you that, but if I did, don't tell anyone. Yeah, but I also have a massive panic about it, because I'm like, I can't remember what I was told I wasn't allowed to say. So there was just this thing of, in July, this will happen. And if we could get it to be this really amazing moment, you know, and also for me, I got to live a pretty anonymous life until then, so it was within my benefit to have that reveal happen, and but I was just lying left, right, and centre.
I bet you were, because your husband was the only one that sort of knew, so you had to have code words and all sorts of things.
Yeah, you know, and talking to obviously my agent and talking to Chris Chibnall, obviously we were speaking a lot, and I'd get so paranoid if my phone was on a table and like his name and text would ping up or something. I'd be like, well, people won't associate with that because they'll know that we're friends from Broadchurch. And it's just this thing. And you just become a massive narcissist thinking everything's about me. Everyone is looking at me all the time. So
we definitely are.
I think I was incredibly melodramatic the whole time. I think I talked like this in my flat for for months. But hopefully no one's
You
telling
mentioned
anyone.
Chris Chibnall, he's now the one of the writers on Doctor Who.
Yeah,
he was the writer on Broadchurch,
so
obviously.
he's the showrunner of it. So yeah, I'm sure with the amount of people that get in every episode, yeah, it's been brilliant, and I have spoke to a couple of them previous. They were wonderful in their support and excitement.
Of course.
So no one went, oh.
No, absolutely.
They were nice.
Cannot wait to see you in it, Jodie. It's just brilliant.
Oh,
You're
great,
going to
thank
be
you.
fantastic. It's so exciting. And as we said, trust me tonight,
Yeah.
4-part series, 9 p.m. on BBC One. Thank you so much, Jodie.